Hey guys, welcome back. So the beginning of these notes are should be review. What we're going to be doing is talking about a Cartesian coordinate system, which is something that looks like this over here. Now on the Cartesian coordinate system, each place you see like an intersection of lines, that's called an ordered pair. And an ordered pair is represented by two numbers, which is the x and the y. Okay, now when you are going to plot a point, you always start at this point right here, which is where these two thick lines intersect. It's called the origin. And the reason it's called the origin is because that's where you always start. Okay, this point, this ordered pair, is the point 0, 0. Okay, so go ahead and write that up over here. Now, those thick lines I was talking to you about, those are called axes. Over here we have x and y because they're the x and y axis. Now, the x-axis is the horizontal number line, this one that goes from left to right. And if you have a problem remembering the difference between horizontal and vertical, the horizon, which is where the sun sets and sun rises, the horizon line is a horizontal line. So horizon, horizontal. So hopefully that helps you remember it. So this right here is a horizontal line. What I want you to do is I want you to mark this horizontal line as the x-axis. Now the y-axis, that's the vertical number line. Okay, and the vertical number line is the one that goes up and down. So if it's not horizontal, it's vertical. It goes up and down. So I want you to label that as your y-axis. Now, every Cartesian coordinate is split by the axes into 4 quadrants. All right. Now the 4 quadrants are labeled with Roman numerals. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now the Roman numeral numeral 1 starts over here in the top right, and then if you make like a C motion, that's where the rest of them go. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and you can see if you start here and go around, it's like you're drawing a C. So that's where the quadrants are. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to start plotting some points. Now when you plot points, you have to start with. Now it says right here x is horizontal. So you're going to go horizontally before you go vertically, which is the y. Okay, so the first point I have here is the point 1, 5. This right here is 1, that's the x. So I'm going to go horizontally 1 unit, and then we're going to go up 5 units vertically because the 5 is the y. And the way I like to help students remember how to plot a point is we'll think of this as a building. That's the front door right there. Now, if you need to get to the 5th floor, you first have to walk vertically to the elevator, and then you take the elevator to the 5th floor. So you have to walk before you take the elevator up and down. So this 1, 5, again, you're going to walk to the elevator 1 unit, and then you take it up 5 units. Okay? This point 1, 5 is in the first quadrant. That's what I want you guys to put over here after you plot the point, which is right there. So we're going to go ahead and put quadrant 1, because that's where it's located. Now, this next point right here is the point -3, 1. So that one would tell you to go to the left 3, right? Because that's the -3 for the x, and then up 1. So it would be right there. Okay, that's the point -3, 1. And again, remember you have to go horizontally before you go vertically. And then we're going to put that one in quadrant 2. We're going to put the 2 right here because you can see it's in quadrant 2. The next point is -2, -2. So that one's going to tell you go to the left 2 and then go down 2. So it's at this corner right here of that box with the 3 in it. And as you can see, it's in the box with the 3 in it. Or it's in the quadrant with the 3 in it. So it's quadrant 3. All right. Now this other point right here is 5, -4. So that tells me to go +5, and then -4. I'm going to go down 4 over here. Okay. So that's going to put me in the 4th quadrant. I'm going to put a 4 right here. Now, you see we have 2 other areas. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, but now over here we have 2 more spaces. So let's see what happens when you plot something with a 0 in it. This one has 0, 2. Now, since x is 0, you're going to go horizontally 0 units. So you're not going to go to the left or the right, but then the 2 tells me to go up 2. So I'm going to be right on this blue line. This blue line is called the x-axis or the y-axis, so I'm going to put y-axis here. All right, now over here we're going to put another point, but this one has a y that's 0. Okay, so the 6 tells me to move horizontally 6 units. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then the 0 tells me to go vertically 0 units. So we're just going to keep it right there. And it's on the green line, so what we're going to put here is the x-axis. Now, I already knew that these points were going to be in those areas because of these numbers over here. Since this first point is positive, it's automatically in the first quadrant, and it will always be, any positive will always be in the first quadrant. Over here we have a -3, +1. That right there is negative, positive. Those will always be in the second quadrant. And then we have two negatives. Two negatives will always be in the third quadrant. A positive then a negative will always be in the fourth quadrant. All right, if you ever have a 0 on the x, that's automatically going to be a y-intercept, or it's going to be on the y-axis. And then if you ever have a 0 that's the y, it's always going to be a x-axis. Okay? All right, so it says in a coordinate plane, the horizontal number line is called the x-axis. All right, it says the second number in an ordered pair is called the y-coordinate. And then when x and y are both 0, this is located at the origin, 0, 0. Okay? Now over here, we just said on the front side we were able to plot points that were given. You also need to be able to read the points. So from A through G, I have all these points right here. I'm going to let you guys answer the question. Actually, we'll do the first one together. So A is right here. So what you're going to write down is 5, 3. The reason it's 5, 3 is because we go out 5 and then we go up 3. Okay? So the point is located at 5, 3. Now B, C, D, E, F, G. You guys got to do this part on your own, and then I'll go ahead and answer those for you. All right, so B is in the second quadrant, so that point right there is -3, 1. The next point is C, that's in the third quadrant, that's -6, -4. The next point is D, which is on the y-axis, so that's going to be 0, -3. The next point is on the origin, and the origin again is 0, 0. The next point after that is in the fourth quadrant, F, over here. So we're going to go out 4, down 5. And the last one was kind of tricky, but now the last one was a x-intercept, so that means the y is 0. And as you can see over here, it's kind of between 6 and 7, so that's why I put 6.5.